Good morning.
Good morning.
I'll let everybody move their way over to their seats. Okay. Welcome, and welcome to you watching us online to our Sunday celebration service here at Center for Spiritual Living, Minneapolis. My name is Jeff Bird. I'm one of the practitioners and Reverend Debbie's hubby. Okay, let's start by taking a look at our statement of truth, that there's a power for good in the universe, and you can consciously use it. Consciously is the big piece of that as we take a look at going with things. And our mission here is to teach, demonstrate, and inspire a positive spiritual approach to life. And with that, we will start off with music from Victoria and Carl.
Grab your coat and get your hat, leave your worries on the doorstep. Life can be so sweet on the sunny side of the street. Can you hear the pitter-pat? And that happy tune is your step. Just direct your feet to the sunny side of the street. I used to walk in the shade with those blues on parade. Well, I'm not afraid. My rover crossed over. If I ever had a son, I'd be rich as Rockefeller, with gold dust in my feet. To the sunny side of the street, on the sunny side of the street.
Oh, how usual. Okay, let's take a moment to get centered in our space that we're in right now. And take a couple of deep breaths. Remember the gorgeous weather outside. And in this sacred gathering, we come together as one unified consciousness, embracing the profound principles of the universe. With hearts aglow with love and minds open to divine wisdom, we invoke the energy of abundance that permeates the very essence of our existence. We recognize that we are individual expressions of the One, interconnected with all that is. As we stand here in reverence, we affirm that abundance is our birthright, woven into the very fabric of our being. We release any doubts, fears, or limiting beliefs that it may have clouded our awareness of this divine truth. With boundless gratitude, we acknowledge the abundant blessings that flow into our lives each day, the opportunities that unfold, the synchronicities that guide us, and the love that surrounds us. We affirm that we are deserving of all the riches the world has to offer. As we delve into the infinite wellspring of consciousness, we attune our thoughts, emotions, actions to the frequency of abundance. May our minds be clear channels, receptive to the creative power of the universe, leading us to prosperity and fulfillment in all areas of our life. With compassion and generosity, we share our abundance with others, knowing that in giving, we contribute to the collective flow of prosperity and well-being. We create a world where abundance is not a scarce, but an ever-expanding reality for all. As we navigate the journey of life, may we be guided by the inner knowing that we are co-creators with the universe. Let our intentions be aligned with the highest good and our actions be infused with love, kindness, and integrity. In this moment of sacred beginning of our service, we affirm our commitment to living an abundant life, a life of purpose, joy, and harmony. May the vibrations of abundance ripple through our consciousness and extend and touch every soul on the planet. With hearts united and minds awakened, release these words to the infinite intelligence of the universe. May it empower and bless us as we embrace the consciousness of abundance and fulfill our divine destinies. In the name of abundance, love, and oneness. And so it is. And now, as we do every Sunday, we are acknowledging all different paths to the one. Rose, will you come up and help us light our flames of faith? As I said, we are based on acknowledging all the paths to the one, and here are just some of the ones that we are honoring today. We light the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. Thank you, Rose. And now I invite you to light the candle for all forms of new thought within you. And remember that that flame is burning inside you each and every day, each and every hour of every day. One other note on looking at all the different religions, the one thing that runs through all of them at their core is love, no matter what it looks like sometimes else. It's always that was at the core. And now we will have a spiritual reading. What? Oh, we'll do the group reading. I am ready to deepen my conviction in the power and presence for good. I am ready to apply it in my daily life. I am ready to receive God's highest blessings. I am ready to live from a higher level of beingness. I am ready to be a transformative light in the world. And now we will have a reading from Celeste. I was trying to find where you went.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Oh, I have no idea who wrote this.
No, do I?
Oh, okay. Anonymously written. Titled A Consciousness Awakened. Amidst the realm of boundless dreams where rivers of abundance flow, a consciousness awakened gleams in every heart a wondrous glow. Behold the magic of the mind where thoughts weave tapestries divine. From scarcity it breaks unkind to realms where endless blessings shine. In gratitude the seeds are sown, in every breath a whispered prayer. The universe begins to own a dance of plenty in the air. No longer chained to fear's embrace, nor lost in shadows of despair, in every heart a sacred space where dreams take flight upon the air. With eyes aglow, behold the key to unlock doors that once seemed closed. For in this realm of mystery, abundance reigns, no path imposed.
Each soul a star in cosmic dance, connected to the great unknown. As galaxies of hope advance, through consciousness, a love is sown. The seeds of joy, of love, of light, in fertile minds they gently sow. And as they bloom, day turns to night, and abundance consciousness aglow. With every step upon this earth, a sacred journey to explore. Through thoughts, through deeds, through boundless mirth, an open heart unlocks the door. Embrace the whispers of the soul, the universe within to find. In abundance, consciousness, the whole, a symphony of life aligned. So let us raise our voices high and sing the song of unity, with hearts aglow as one we fly in gratitude and harmony. For in this realm where dreams take flight, an endless tapestry we weave. With every thought, every sight, abundance reigns, and we believe. Thank you.
In case you haven't guessed, abundance is what today is all about. And we'll have one more song.
You got an accent, with the positive and eliminate the negative and latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In Between. You gotta spread joy up to the maximum and bring gloom down to the minimum, and have faith or pandemonium liable to walk upon the scene. To illustrate his last remark, Jonah and the whale, Noah and the ark. What did they do when everything looked so dark? Man, they said we better accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative and latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In Between. To illustrate his last remark, Jonah and the whale, Noah and the ark. What did they do when everything looked so dark? Man, they said we better accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative and latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In Between. No, don't mess with Mr. In Between. Don't mess with Mr. In Between.
You'd never guess they had a late night gig last night, would you? Always professional. And now for our main event, Reverend Debbie talking about Abun-Dance.
Hello, all. Thank you for spending part of this lovely Sunday morning with us because, man, for those of you not in Minneapolis, we are having like a picture-perfect weekend. It's just incredible. So, it's only fitting that we talk about abundance because we have had an abundance of great weather this week. And this month, that's kind of what we've been looking at, how we're living life from that place of knowing our greatness and our partnership with that one which I call God. But whatever you call it, we've been looking at it as our chief spiritual officer, right? I mean, we're sort of in charge of our life. We're in charge. I'm not saying we're in control. Don't confuse that. We're in charge of our life, right? And we're not doing it alone. We have an essence. We have an essence that is just saying, yes, my beloved, how may I serve you? And so we started off this month with a little quiz, and I'm going to invite Anthony to put the slides back up. And I asked us all to take a look at, on a scale to 1 to 5, how are we feeling on the pathway of God's plenty? Are we feeling that we're really on that path, that we're living that life of goodness? And then I asked you to rate yourself on a journey of joy, of spirit, like 1 to 5. Are we like struggling on up? Or are we just rolling with it? Are we just moving forward in joyful expectation? And then I also asked you to rate in terms of where we are with conscious creation. That idea of we are here to say this is what we want. Spirit, this is it. Go for it. We're going for it. And so that's sort of what we've been up to this month. And we've been using 2 books as our inspiration. The first book is by May McCarthy, and I think it's going to be the Abundance book we're going to do in October. And it is A Path to Wealth, 7 Spiritual Steps for Financial Abundance. And then also Wallace Wattles, Science of Getting Rich. He wrote that book in 1910. And it's available for download for free. You can also buy it. But 1910, in that book, it is on fire as it relates to who and whose we are. So I want to share with you, and you've got this handout in your program, and we'll list it on the website because this slide is going to be really hard to see for everybody. But at least I created it. Go back 1. Go forward twice. There, that slide. Okay. So, all prosperity books, all abundance books, in fact, you know what? The Science of Mind textbook. In fact, what we talk about here on Sundays, all kind of comes down to some same concepts. It's about gratitude. And it's about visualizing and being grateful for what it is that we're visualizing. It's about affirming the positive, accentuating the positive, celebrating it. It's about prayer work, not prayer like I beg and am willing to cut a deal with you prayer. Prayer work like, all right, spiritual officer, here we are. Let's do this. Knowing now that in the mind of the universe, it already is. It's just up to us to make space for it to materialize. We talk about goal setting here. We talk about that creative mind, that part of us that really knows what we want. We talk here about a daily practice, using our intuition, like allowing ourselves to look within for guidance and not always out there somewhere. To act as if and to embody that goodness before we see it. Giving of our time, our talent, and our treasures to open up the space. And about believing in oneself, having faith, having a purpose, having a knowing and a community, which is why we're here on this beautiful Sunday morning, for that sense of community. And when we put all of that together, when we put all of those things together on a daily basis, and we make it part of our, not part of just our spiritual practice, but part of our life, we live from that place, then we really are living an abundant life. Abundance. Plenty. More than enough. Abundance. Knowing that there's ample quantities for everyone. Abundance. Knowing that my good is not robbing anybody else of their good. And in fact, my abundance is making way for others to rise up with me in community. Abundance, widespread, easily accessible. Try that one out for abundance. But in a broader sense, what we're all about, why we gather here, is for an abundant consciousness. Recognizing and appreciating that positive aspect that we call life, embodying it, and allowing it to thrive in like so many ways. An abundant consciousness, beyond material possessions, beyond the stuff, but to that place of just knowing today is a good day. And it's a good day because I'm celebrating me. Today is an abundant day because I see it all around me. I embrace it. And I celebrate not only my abundance, but everyone else's abundance. When we start our day like that and we continue through our day, doing our spiritual work, doing what is ours to do, abundance becomes a state of consciousness. And the more we can stay in that state, the more we attract to us what we want from a place of ease, from a place of knowing that it's already there. But so often the messages all around us are all about the stuff, right? It's about the stuff. It's about knowing we've got enough cash, we've got enough gas, we've got enough of a new car, we've got enough of a new dress, we got enough of this stuff. But when we focus on stuff, when we focus on what we have right here on hand at this moment, we are truly putting the cart before the horse. And then we end up dragging both of them around, I think, right? Because I'm so busy out there with stuff, with comparison, with judgment, with not enoughness, that I lose sight of the goodness that already has. And it's hard dragging all that stuff around, you guys. It's hard. Take it from somebody who's gone through a divorce and still has way too much stuff. It's hard dragging stuff around. So I'd like to propose that when we look at the universe, we look at the world, we look at our life from that place of abundance, we look at it from a place of what we already have, of what the world has already provided us, of what God has already said yes to. When we look from that place, that point, we get to see that right here and right now there are riches in our life. We're all rich just because we're here in this room together, breathing together, feeling that energy of love together. If you think about it, it's a really sweet place to be. And it's not about anything in the physical world. We all know people. We all know people who have incredible means, right? Incredible means. But they hold on to stuff. They hoard stuff. They don't share their stuff. And they are not living an abundant life, even though if you were to look at them, you would think, man, they got it all. And we also know people that are just the opposite. They don't have a lot. But man, are they loving life. Well, years ago, and I was living in Orange County, there was a gentleman, and he was a valet at a hotel. A Marriott, I think it was. Anyway, he's a valet at a hotel in Newport Beach. And he loved what he did for a living. Absolutely loved it. And every year, he took a 2-week holiday to someplace exotic, and he had no idea where, you guys. He had no idea. He just said to his travel agent, that's just how long ago it was. There were still travel agents. He would say to his travel agent, okay, these are my 2 weeks. And he would book him on something, You know, one of those last minute deals, like, okay. So he would be like so excited. He would spend so much time just being excited about the possibility of where he was going to go. He lived in a studio apartment, drove a so-so car, loved his life. He would go to these exotic places and he'd come back with pictures and stories, and he'd like share it at the library, and he did all these things. Now, those 2 weeks were more than just his vacation. He had the most abundant consciousness and knew that wherever he was going, it was going to be incredible. Now, how many of us in this room could say, I'm going on holiday, but I don't know where? I will know a couple of days before I leave, right? Talk about an abundant consciousness. It's not a matter of the stuff. You know, the Bible is so rich in metaphors about consciousness. So Moses, right, leads the people. They're in this desert. He sends out 12 spies to investigate the promised land, right? Joshua comes back and he's like, man, it is the land of milk and honey. And look, I brought you these grapes. These grapes, they're everywhere. The other 11 spies come back and they talk about, you know, the big people and mean people and barren land. And so Moses and the people, they hung out in the desert for 40 years, right? Right there on the borderline of abundance. But Joshua never lost that consciousness. When Joshua took over, what was the first thing they did? They went to the promised land, and they found the milk and they found the honey. He led from a place of abundance, not from a place of caution, but from a place really in his soul, where when he looked, he saw milk and honey, even though I'm sure that lack existed. You know, in Hebrew, Joshua and Jesus, they're both derived from that word, Johanna, and it's oneness. It is that great I am that I am. And that's who we all are. We all have a consciousness that we get to decide how to use it. We all have a partner in spirit. I was reminded this week that the universe not only does not support a void, but there never is a void. If it's all God, all the time, everywhere, if it's all energy, all the time, everywhere, there is never a void. We just sometimes see a void. So an abundant consciousness is what we've been talking about. The slide that came early, that he's going to find now, that one. This is what's ours to do. This is what is ours to do. To decide what we want, to stay in alignment with what we want, not deviate from it. To be grateful in advance for it, and then to pay attention to our inner guidance. That's what's ours to do. Everything else is God's. Everything else is God's. But I know all of us here in this room are overachievers, right? All of us watching online, overachievers. So today, from an abundant consciousness perspective, I want to talk about 3 more things I'm going to add to the to-do list, because I don't want any of us to get bored. So Edwin Gaines, one of the greatest prosperity teachers ever, would hold these retreats in, I think it was in Arkansas. At the end, the last night was always a fire walk. I don't know, how many of you have done a fire walk? I have not. Well, we have one fire walker in the group, yay. But she would close these retreats, and her message to everyone before the fire walk was, it's all about 3 things. It's about paying attention, expect the best, and then just go for it. Take that step. Knowing who and whose you are. So pay attention. From an abundance perspective, let's pay attention to the abundance that's already at hand. The beautiful weather, the gorgeous sky, the list goes on and on. Our health, our wealth, those good ideas that we have, all of the resources that are available to us, especially those of us in this country. Beyond the crazy, we are so blessed. And when we know that God is our source, and we allow our thoughts and our feelings to pay attention to that, then the crazy doesn't make as much noise. In Hebrew, it's written, every house is built by someone, but the builder of all things is God. That is our truth, the builder of all things. And when we start to pay attention, to the goodness that's already here, what are we doing? We're taking that energy level and we're rising it up. And now we're attracting to us more of that goodness, more of our truth, more of what it is that we truly, truly want. When we pay attention, we're willing to be mindful. And in that place of mindfulness, everything can speak to us. And we also need to pay attention, however, to those limiting beliefs, those ideas of scarcity that show up. Pay attention to them long enough to recognize that they're there and to say, thank you, but you're no longer needed in my world. You used to play a part. You aren't needed anymore. Remember the good old words of Anonymous. Where your attention goes is where your energy flows. So it's about being that conduit of abundance. And then it's about expecting the best. Just expect the best. Expect that whatever vacation shows up is the right vacation. Expect that however this story unfolds, it's going to unfold rightly. There's an idea, I can't even remember where I heard from it. It's out. When things are always good at the end. Always good at the end. So if it's not good now, it just means you're not at the end. Right? You're just not at the end. There's more to come. And more and more and more. And that abundance consciousness lets it flow. Our founder, Ernest Holmes, on abundance. The highest consciousness is not one of possession, but of being. The greater your consciousness of being, the more automatically the law flows from this consciousness into the acquisition of things that you desire. God does not bestow the gift of abundance upon this or that person. God does not know whether you and I have much or little. The source of our supply is unlimited, and it rests on how much we are willing to embody. We can have a thimble and we can have a bucket. See? We're not in control, but we're in charge of that. We are in charge of that. Which takes us to the next step, and the most important step, and that's stepping out in faith. Stepping out knowing we are just never alone. God's got our back. Always. Even when we don't think about it, God's got our back. So imagine standing at the edge of these burning white coals. The heat's coming off. You can start to feel it. Your hands, maybe your palms are getting a little sweaty. Your heart rate goes up a little bit. Mouth is getting dry. That thought goes through your head, what in the heck am I about to do? We may not be fire walkers, but we've all walked through fire, and we've all had those feelings. And just because that higher self is directing us to take these steps doesn't mean that all the fear goes away. In fact, the fear may be more intense than normal. But that fear, it's not a wall. That fear, it's kind of like a bubble or a membrane. It's something that we can penetrate by taking that first step. And the first step is always the hardest. Always the hardest. Because after that first step, there's a relief that shows up, right? When we do something really brave, when we finally make the call, we finally take that action, there's a sense of relief. There's almost a rush to it. And then it's about the next step and the next step and the next step. Still expecting the best. Eric Butterworth wrote, "Don't let the outer happening squeeze you into its box, but open your mind to the flow of wisdom and love and good judgment with which you can deal masterfully with. It has come to pass. We just have to accept it. Accept changing the experience. Expect something better, and then just do it." So it's time to just do it, team. And we're not doing it alone. Not only do we have God on our side, we have this community on our side. A strong, rich, loving support system. It's not about judging or comparing. It's about supporting and knowing. Lavish abundance. Pay attention to it. Expect the best, because if it isn't the best, it's just not finished yet. You're just not at the end. Break through any fear and just go ahead and do it. So your assignment this week, if you're willing, is when those thoughts of lack or scarcity or not enough, when that judgment and comparison shows up, take a breath. Just take a breath. Put it on notice. You are no longer needed in my space. You no longer get space in my head or in my heart. As of now, you are free to go elsewhere because I don't need you anymore. God's got this. That's the truth. That's the abundance of who we are. It's all us. It's just us. Think about that. It's just you and the universe doing what you and the universe are here to do, which is to live life abundantly and to take us all with you. That is our truth. So it is.
Days can be sunny with never a sigh. Don't need what money can buy. Birds in the trees sing their day full of song. Why shouldn't we sing along? I'm chipper all the day, happy with my lot. How did I get that way? Look at what I got. I've got rhythm, I've got music, I've got my man. Who could ask for anything more? I've got daisies in green pastures, I've got my man. Who could ask for anything more? Old man trouble, I don't mind him, 'cause you won't find him knocking down my door. I've got starlight, I've got sweet dreams, I've got my man. Who could ask for anything more? Ba-ba-da-ba-ba, ba-ba-da-ba-ba, ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da-ba-ba, ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba, ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba, ba-ba-ba-ba-ba, ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba, ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Old man trouble, I don't mind him. Oh, you won't find him knocking down my door. I've got starlight, I've got sweet dreams, I've got my man. Who could ask for anything more? I've got rhythm, I've got music, I've got daisies in green pastures, I've got starlight, I've got sweet dreams, I've got my man. Who could ask for anything more?
Very, very nice. And now is the point of our service for conscious giving. But before we pass the baskets around, I'd like to give you guys something. I'd like to give you gratitude for keeping us here. On March 15th of 2020, we had to be out of here. You guys kept us going. I'm also saying thank you for everybody else, to everybody else in here, because your gifts service them also. And before you click on the contribute button there or anything like that, I'd like everybody just take a moment, close your eyes, and think of something you're grateful for. Hold it in your heart. And come back. And there's one thing I'd like you to give in addition to this, is when you leave here, give a smile. That comes back, pressed down and multiplied also. Open a door for somebody. Let somebody in traffic. Those things do just as much as the dollars do here for servicing people.
So blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed, I am so blessed. I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed.
We bless the gifts and we bless the givers. And thank you again on behalf of everyone, even the people that have stopped by here for one service. You keep this going for them and letting this message come out to everybody. We have a couple of announcements. The book study is still going on Thursday nights. How many sessions left? One? I don't think the book service is going on.
Oh, thank you. Okay, we just finished the Mastery of Love this last Thursday night. We're going to take a week off, and then on August 10th, we will begin our last book in this Don Miguel Ruiz series called The Voice of Knowledge. So please join us Thursday, August 10th, for the beginning of that book. It'll run probably through August, and then we'll be done with it. info@cslminneapolis.org and for more information. Thank you.
Thank you for that. There is a flyer back there for a piece that's coming up September 29th and the 30th. It is a virtual gathering on those 2 days. People that are in Atlanta, I believe, can go live for part of it. But you'll take a look at this in the back and you'll be able to see what's going on with it if you'd like to participate in that by going on. One other thing here, we've mentioned this before, but right now we have people watching us on our new church app. And if you want it, you can go back. There's a QR code back there to go on to. Also on our website, there's a way to get to it and put it on your phone if you would like to do that. So just letting you know about that. And we are going to have Reverend Debbie pray us out.
Thank you, Jeff. All righty, everybody, you ready for a closing prayer? Here we go. Let us just take a couple of breaths. Let us sort of like move a little bit. Let's just let all this goodness sort of settle in. Let all of this lovely love in this room, just breathe it in. Because what I know is that there is only one, that one energy, that one creative force, that one that is the one. There is no place where it is not. I call it God, but whatever you call it, it is closer than our breath. And always, always, always on the job, creating. I am reminded that what my life is today is a result of my thinking. And then what my life is in the next moment and the next moment is a result of my thinking and my feeling. And so it is from that place that I claim for myself and for everyone who is willing that life is good and getting better. That it continues to unfold with clarity, with focus, with ease, with grace, with wonder. And I accept that unfolding at an accelerated rate. I expect the best, and I am willing, capable, with all of the right tools to go for what it is that I want. I just turn over any idea of lack or scarcity to God. I know that God's got this. God is doing all of the heavy lifting. And so from that place of that knowing, I am just celebrating my good. I am celebrating the good of this planet. I am celebrating the good of this universe. And I say thank you for that joyful participation in this thing called life. Thank you for all that has been, all that is, all that will be. Just thank you. And I release these words knowing that it's already done, knowing that I've already accepted the goodness. And I am expecting it to suit up and show up now. That is the truth, and so it is. All right. We've got a song, and then Mary Ellen has brought us goodies. So let's have coffee and goodies together, shall we? All right.
Why don't you all stand up? I'm so glad somehow I've got salvation now. It keeps the spirit moving in my soul. Oh. Every day I find it's peace and joy of mine, and it keeps me singing in my soul. I'm singing, yes, I'm singing in my soul. When the troubles roll, that I sing from morn to night, it makes my burdens light. And I'm singing, yes, I'm singing in my soul. Yes, I'm singing in my soul. When the troubles roll, I sing from morn to night, and it makes my burdens bright. And I'm singing, yes, I'm singing in my soul. Yes, I'm singing, yes, I'm singing in my soul. When the troubles roll, yeah, I sing from morn to night, and it makes my burdens bright. And I'm singing, yeah, I'm singing in my soul. And I'm singing, yeah, I'm singing in my soul.
Beautiful. Join us for refreshments.
Hi, thanks. I'm good. How are you? Yeah.